You're lying in bed. It's 11 p.m. You told yourself today would be different. You had plans. Real plans. You were going to start that project, hit the gym, finally make progress on the thing that matters. But here you are, thumb scrolling, eyes glazed, watching your third hour of content you won't remember tomorrow. And the worst part? You're not even enjoying it. You're just stuck. Trapped in a loop your brain won't let you escape. Tomorrow, you think. Tomorrow I'll be better. But you've thought that before. Many times before. Here's what nobody tells you: this isn't a willpower problem. This isn't because you're lazy or broken or undisciplined. This is a wiring problem. Your brain has been hijacked. And until you understand exactly how it's been playing you, you'll keep ending up here, night after night, wondering where your time went and why you can't seem to become the person you know you're capable of being. But what if I told you that in just 7 days, you could completely rewire this? Not through some brutal force of discipline. Not by white-knuckling your way through motivation you don't have. But by understanding the exact mechanisms your brain uses to keep you trapped, and then using those same mechanisms against it. Tricking your brain at its own game. That's what the next 40 minutes are about. A precise, 3-phase protocol that takes 7 days to execute and could change the entire trajectory of your life. Let me explain how your brain has been lying to you. Your brain is approximately 200,000 years old. The hardware you're running, the neural circuitry, the chemical systems, the survival programming, all of it was designed for a world that no longer exists. A world where immediate rewards meant survival. Where spotting a ripe fruit meant calories. Where novel stimuli could mean danger or opportunity. Your ancestors' brains were optimized for scarcity, uncertainty, and physical threat. And those brains kept them alive. But you don't live in that world anymore. You live in an environment of infinite stimulation. Endless content. Algorithmically optimized addiction machines designed by the smartest engineers in the world for one purpose: to keep you engaged. To keep you scrolling. To keep you clicking. And your ancient brain, with its ancient wiring, doesn't stand a chance. At the center of this hijacking is a chemical called dopamine. You've probably heard of it. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It's not. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It's what makes you want, not what makes you like. It's the neural signal that says, something rewarding might be coming. Pay attention. Seek it out. In the ancestral environment, this was crucial. Dopamine drove you to seek food, to explore, to pursue mates, to survive. But here's the problem. Modern technology has figured out how to trigger dopamine release without delivering real reward. Every notification. Every autoplay video. Every infinite scroll feed. They all promise reward. They all spike dopamine. But they never truly satisfy. So your brain keeps seeking. Keeps scrolling. Keeps searching for the satisfaction that never comes. You're a rat pressing a lever that occasionally gives food, except the food never actually fills you up. Let me introduce you to Jake. He's 28. Works in marketing. Smart guy. Talented. He knows what he should be doing. He's got a side business idea he's been working on for 2 years. He wants to get in shape. Wants to read more. Wants to be the kind of person who creates instead of consumes. But every evening, after work, he sits down just to relax for a minute, opens YouTube, and 4 hours disappear. He's watched a dozen videos about starting a business but hasn't taken a single action on his own. He's watched fitness transformation stories but hasn't been to the gym in months. Jake isn't lazy. Jake's brain is trapped in a dopamine loop. And because he doesn't understand what's happening neurologically, he blames himself. He thinks he lacks discipline. He doesn't. He lacks understanding. Here's what's actually happening in Jake's brain. After months, maybe years, of high-stimulation content, social media, video games, binge-watching, his dopamine baseline has crashed. Think of dopamine like a bank account. Every time you get a hit of stimulation, you're making a withdrawal. Scroll through Instagram, small withdrawal. Binge a Netflix series, bigger withdrawal. Play video games for 3 hours, massive withdrawal. Your brain tries to maintain balance, so when you keep hammering it with artificial dopamine spikes, it downregulates the receptors. It becomes less sensitive. You develop tolerance. This means 2 things. First, you need more and more stimulation to feel normal. What used to be entertaining now feels boring. You need faster cuts, more dramatic content, stronger stimulation. Second, and this is crucial, normal activities that used to release moderate dopamine, like working on a meaningful project, going for a walk, having a real conversation, these now feel incredibly unrewarding. Your brain doesn't want them. They don't offer enough dopamine to meet your new, artificially elevated baseline. So hard tasks, the ones that actually build your future, become almost impossible to start. Not because they're objectively harder than they used to be, but because your brain has been recalibrated to reject anything that isn't immediately, intensely stimulating. You sit down to write, and within 90 seconds, your brain is screaming for stimulation. You open a tab. Check your phone. You're not weak. Your neurochemistry is working against you. And here's the truly insidious part. Every day you spend in this state, you're building an identity. You become what you repeatedly do. If you repeatedly choose the easy dopamine, the scroll, the distraction, you're not just wasting time. You're becoming a person who distracts themselves. It's wiring into your sense of self. You start thinking, I'm just not a disciplined person. I'm not the kind of person who follows through. And that belief makes the behavior even harder to change. Jake has started to think of himself this way. He's internalized it. When he thinks about starting his business, there's a voice that says, "Who are you kidding? You can't even go a day without wasting 3 hours on YouTube." And that voice keeps him exactly where he is. If you're hearing yourself in Jake's story, I need you to understand something. This isn't permanent. This is reversible. Your brain is plastic. It can be rewired. But you can't rewire it by accident. You can't think your way out. You need a specific protocol. A system that addresses the root cause, not the symptoms. That's where the 7-day framework comes in. 3 phases. 7 days. Complete neurological reset. Phase 1 is days 1 through 3. This is the detox. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this, these are the hardest days. This is where you reset your dopamine baseline. Here's what that means practically. For 3 full days, you eliminate all cheap dopamine sources. No social media. No YouTube, except educational content you've intentionally chosen, not algorithm-recommended rabbit holes. No video games. No binge-watching shows. No junk food. No pornography. Nothing that gives you a quick, easy hit of stimulation without effort. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds extreme. That sounds impossible. Good. That reaction is your hijacked brain panicking because it knows the game is about to change. Let me be clear about what you can do during these 3 days. You can read physical books. You can go for walks. You can journal. You can have face-to-face conversations. You can work on something meaningful. You can sit and think. You can be bored. Especially that last one. You can be bored. Let me introduce you to Sarah. She's 31. Graphic designer. Freelancer. She decided to try this protocol because she realized she hadn't gone a single day in 5 years without checking Instagram within 10 minutes of waking up. On day 1 of her detox, she woke up, and her hand automatically reached for her phone. Muscle memory. She stopped herself. Put the phone in a drawer. Made coffee. Sat down. And had absolutely no idea what to do with herself. The boredom hit her like a wave. It was almost physical. Her brain was sending urgent signals. Do something, check something, stimulate me, this is unbearable. She described it later as feeling like anxiety and emptiness at the same time. She wanted to quit. She wanted to convince herself this was stupid, that she didn't need this, that she was fine. But she didn't quit. She sat with it. And here's what happened. After about 20 minutes, the panic started to subside. Her mind started to wander. She started actually thinking. Not reacting to content someone else created, but generating her own thoughts. She realized she hadn't done that in a long time. She picked up a book she'd bought 8 months ago and never opened. Started reading. It felt slow at first. Her brain kept trying to speed up, to skim, to check her phone. But she kept going. By the end of day 1, she'd read 60 pages. She'd gone for a walk and actually noticed her surroundings. She'd cooked an actual meal instead of ordering delivery. Day 2 was harder. The novelty was gone. The boredom was worse. Her brain was in full withdrawal. She felt irritable. Restless. She kept thinking of justifications. Just 5 minutes of Instagram won't hurt. I need to check my messages for work. This is too extreme. Every addict's brain does this. It negotiates. It bargains. It tries to convince you that moderation is possible, even though you've proven to yourself 100 times that it's not. Sarah didn't give in. And something started to shift. By day 3, the desperation started to fade. She woke up and didn't immediately crave her phone. She sat down to work on a client project and found herself focused for 90 minutes straight. She couldn't remember the last time that happened. Tasks that normally felt like pulling teeth felt neutral. Not fun exactly, but not torturous. Just normal. What was happening in Sarah's brain during these 3 days? Her dopamine system was recalibrating. Without the constant artificial spikes, her receptors were upregulating. Becoming more sensitive again. Her baseline was lowering back to normal. And as it did, normal activities started to feel rewarding again. Reading a book released enough dopamine to feel pleasant. Working on a project felt satisfying. A walk outside felt good. This is the reset. This is the foundation. Without these 3 days, nothing else works. You can't build discipline on top of a broken dopamine system. It's like trying to run a marathon with a broken leg. You need to heal first. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. These 3 days will be uncomfortable. Your brain will try to convince you to stop. You'll feel bored, anxious, maybe even irritable or sad. That's withdrawal. That's your brain realizing the free dopamine is gone and it actually has to work for reward again. Let it happen. Sit with the discomfort. It's temporary. The freedom on the other side is permanent. Here are some practical strategies to survive days 1 through 3. First, remove temptation from your environment. Delete social media apps from your phone. You can reinstall them later if you want, but not during these 3 days. Log out of streaming services. Put your game console in a closet. Make the friction high. Second, replace the habit with something physical. When you feel the urge to scroll, do 10 push-ups. Go outside. Drink a glass of water. The urge will pass. Urges always pass. They peak in about 10 to 15 minutes and then fade. You just have to outlast them. Third, journal the experience. Write down what you're feeling. The urges, the discomfort, the thoughts. This does 2 things. It gives you something to do with your hands and mind, and it creates a record. You'll want to look back at this later and see how far you've come. And fourth, remind yourself why you're doing this. Not in some abstract way. Concretely. What do you want to become? Who is the person you're trying to build? That person doesn't scroll for 3 hours. That person has control. You're becoming them. 3 days of discomfort is a small price. By the end of day 3, if you've done this correctly, you'll notice something remarkable. The tasks you've been avoiding for weeks or months will feel approachable. Not easy, necessarily, but possible. Your brain will have stopped screaming for stimulation every 90 seconds. You'll have mental space. Clarity. You'll feel like yourself again, maybe for the first time in years. This is where Jake, Sarah, and most people make a critical mistake. They feel better and they think, okay, I'm fixed. I can go back to normal now. Maybe just a little Instagram. Maybe just 1 episode. And within 48 hours, they're right back where they started. The dopamine trap snaps shut again. That's why phase 1 is only the beginning. You've reset the hardware. Now we need to reprogram the software. That's days 4 and 5. That's the 5-minute rule. And this is where everything starts to click. Let me ask you something. What's harder, starting a task or continuing a task? If you're honest, it's starting. Once you're in motion, momentum carries you. But that first step, sitting down, opening the document, putting on your shoes, that's where the resistance lives. That's where your brain throws up every excuse, every distraction, every reason to do it later. There's a concept in physics called activation energy. It's the minimum amount of energy required to start a chemical reaction. Even reactions that release energy overall, that are ultimately easier to sustain than to stop, require that initial push. Your brain works the same way. Starting requires enormous activation energy. But once you start, continuation is relatively easy. Your brain hates uncertainty. It hates effort. When you think about doing a hard task, your brain imagines the entire ordeal. Writing the whole report. Doing the full workout. Cleaning the entire house. And that feels overwhelming. So your brain says, not now. Later. When you have more energy. When you feel more motivated. Except that moment never comes. The 5-minute rule exploits a loophole in this system. Here's how it works. When you face a task you're avoiding, you make a deal with yourself. You commit to just 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes of work, and then you have full permission to stop. No judgment. No guilt. You're not committing to finishing. You're not even committing to making progress. Just 5 minutes. This is psychologically brilliant because 5 minutes doesn't trigger the overwhelm response. Your brain can handle 5 minutes of discomfort. It's such a small commitment that the resistance doesn't activate. You're essentially sneaking past your brain's defenses. But here's what actually happens. Once you start, once you're in motion, your brain's psychology shifts. There's a principle called the Zeigarnik effect. It's the psychological tension you feel around unfinished tasks. Your brain hates loose ends. It wants completion. So once you've started something, even if you only committed to 5 minutes, your brain naturally wants to continue. The activation energy has been spent. Momentum has begun. Stopping actually becomes harder than continuing. Let me show you what this looked like for Marcus. He's 34. Software developer. He'd been putting off a career transition for over a year. He wanted to build a portfolio project to apply for senior roles, but every time he sat down to work on it, he'd feel paralyzed. The scope felt too big. He didn't know where to start. He'd open his code editor and immediately find something else to do. On day 4 of the protocol, after 3 days of dopamine detox, his brain was quieter. The constant pull toward distraction had lessened. But he still felt resistance to starting his project. So he used the 5-minute rule. He set a timer. Told himself, 5 minutes. That's all. Just open the project, write a single function, then I can stop. He started the timer. Opened his editor. Started writing code. It felt slow. Clunky. His brain was still trying to convince him this was pointless. But he kept going. 5 minutes passed. The timer went off. And Marcus realized something. He didn't want to stop. He was in the middle of a thought. The problem he was solving had become interesting. He kept going. 45 minutes later, he looked up. He'd made more progress than he had in the previous 2 months combined. Not because he suddenly found motivation. Not because the task got easier. But because he'd bypassed the starting resistance. And once he was moving, his brain stopped fighting him. This is what days 4 and 5 are about. You pick your hardest task. The one you've been avoiding. The one that matters most. And every day, you use the 5-minute rule. You commit to just 5 minutes. And you watch what happens. Most of the time, you'll keep going. Not always. Sometimes 5 minutes really will be all you do, and that's fine. Because you've still done 5 minutes more than you would have otherwise. And you've proven to your brain that starting isn't as painful as it fears. Each time you use this rule, you're lowering the activation energy for next time. You're building a new pattern. A new identity. Sarah used this on day 4 to finally start organizing her freelance finances, something she'd been dreading for 3 months. 5 minutes turned into an hour. She got it done. Jake used it to write the first page of his business plan. 5 minutes became 30. By day 5, both of them were using the rule multiple times a day. Starting had become almost automatic. Here's the key insight. You're not tricking yourself. You're respecting how your brain actually works. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's just optimized for short-term survival, not long-term achievement. When you try to force it with discipline and willpower, you're fighting your own neurology. When you design conditions where the right action is the easy action, you're working with your brain, not against it. By the end of day 5, you'll have built momentum. You'll have evidence. You've done things you were avoiding. You've proven you can start. And that proof matters more than you might think. Because it sets up phase 3. The identity shift. Days 6 and 7. This is where temporary change becomes permanent transformation. Let me ask you a different kind of question now. Who are you? Not what do you do? Not what you want to do. Who are you? If I followed you around for a week and watched your actual behavior, what identity would I conclude you have? Most people have a gap. A painful gap between who they think they are or who they want to be, and who they actually are based on their actions. They think, I'm someone who values health. But they haven't exercised in 6 months. They think, I'm someone who's ambitious. But they haven't taken a risk or started anything new in years. The gap creates cognitive dissonance. And usually, instead of changing the behavior to match the identity, people change the identity to match the behavior. They start thinking, I guess I'm just not that kind of person. Jake had this gap. He thought of himself as entrepreneurial, creative, someone with potential. But his actual behavior was, employee who goes home and watches YouTube for 4 hours. The gap hurt. So over time, he started revising his identity downward. Maybe I'm not actually that ambitious. Maybe I'm fine with where I am. Except he wasn't fine. He was just protecting himself from the discomfort of the gap. The most powerful thing you can do, the thing that makes change permanent, is close that gap. Not by lowering your identity to match your behavior, but by raising your behavior to match your identity. And the fastest way to do that is to act as if you're already the person you want to become. This is what days 6 and 7 are about. Massive action from identity. Here's the protocol. On day 6, you ask yourself one question: who is the disciplined, focused, high-achieving version of me? What does that person do on a normal day? How do they start their morning? How do they handle distractions? What do they prioritize? Get specific. Write it down if you need to. Then, for the next 2 days, you act exactly as that person would act. Not as who you are now. As who you're becoming. No negotiation. No, I'll start tomorrow. No, just this once. You embody the identity fully. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is trying on the identity to see if it fits. And here's the secret: it will fit. Because that person isn't someone else. It's you. It's the version of you that's been buried under years of low dopamine, distraction, and limiting beliefs. You're not becoming someone new. You're becoming who you actually are when your brain isn't sabotaging you. Jake did this on day 6. He asked himself, what would disciplined Jake do today? The answer was clear. Disciplined Jake wakes up at 6 a.m. Works on his business for 90 minutes before his day job. Doesn't check his phone until 9 a.m. Goes to the gym after work. Reads before bed. So that's what he did. Not because he felt motivated. He didn't. But because that's what the identity he was trying on would do. And something remarkable happened. It wasn't as hard as he thought. After 5 days of dopamine reset and momentum building, his brain wasn't fighting him as hard. The actions felt doable. By the end of the day, he'd worked on his business, gone to the gym, read 30 pages. He looked at himself in the mirror that night and barely recognized the person looking back. In a good way. Sarah did the same. Disciplined Sarah doesn't check Instagram first thing. She meditates. She works on her most important client project first, not last. She says no to distractions. She doesn't eat lunch in front of a screen. For 2 days, Sarah acted exactly as disciplined Sarah would act. And by day 7, something had shifted. She wasn't acting anymore. It had started to feel natural. Marcus chose 3 major actions his future self would take. Apply to 2 senior-level jobs. Finish the first feature of his portfolio project. Have a difficult conversation with his manager about growth opportunities. All three were things he'd been avoiding for months. On day 6 and 7, he did all three. Not perfectly. Not without fear. But he did them. This is the power of identity-based action. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. For years, you've been voting for the distracted version, the passive version, the version that chooses easy. For 7 days, you've been voting differently. And by day 7, the election results are in. You're not the same person anymore. Let me paint you a picture of what day 7 feels like. You wake up. Your hand doesn't immediately reach for your phone. You feel rested. Clear. You think about the last week. 7 days ago, you were trapped. Scrolling at 11 p.m. Avoiding the things that mattered. Wondering if you'd ever change. Now look at you. You've gone 3 days without the distractions that were running your life. You've started tasks you've been avoiding for months. You've acted like the person you want to become, and it didn't feel fake. It felt right. You have evidence now. Not belief. Not hope. Evidence. You did it. You're doing it. Your brain has new defaults. When you sit down to work, you don't immediately fracture into distraction. You focus. When you face a hard task, you don't spiral into avoidance. You use the 5-minute rule and start. When you think about who you are, there's less gap between the identity and the behavior. You're becoming integrated. Whole. This isn't motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings fade. This is infrastructure. You've built new neural pathways. New habits. A new sense of self. And infrastructure doesn't fade. It compounds. Imagine where you'll be in 30 days if you keep this up. 90 days. A year. Think about the projects you'll complete. The skills you'll build. The opportunities that will open because you're finally the person who follows through. Think about how you'll feel about yourself. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can trust yourself to do what you say you'll do. This is the transformation. Not just better habits. A better you. But I need to be honest with you about something. Day 8 is dangerous. You'll feel good. Accomplished. And your brain will whisper, you've earned a break. Just a little Instagram. Just one episode. You've proven you can control it now. This is the trap. This is how you end up right back where you started. The dopamine detox isn't a one-time event. It's a reset that requires maintenance. You don't have to stay in extreme detox mode forever, but you do need to stay vigilant. The algorithm is still there. The apps are still designed to hook you. If you go back to old patterns, your dopamine baseline will crash again. Maybe not in a day, but in a week or two, you'll be back in the loop. So here's what you do. Keep most of the boundaries. Maybe you reintroduce social media, but with strict limits. 10 minutes a day. Only on desktop, not your phone. Maybe you watch a show, but one episode, not a binge. You stay in control. You use the technology. You don't let it use you. Keep using the 5-minute rule. Even after starting becomes easier, the rule is still useful. It's a tool that ensures you never get stuck in paralysis again. Hard task? 5 minutes. That's the deal. Forever. And most importantly, keep acting from identity. Every morning, ask yourself, what would the disciplined version of me do today? Then do that. This isn't a 7-day experiment. This is a new way of living. Jake is 3 months past his 7-day reset now. He still doesn't scroll social media in the morning. He still uses the 5-minute rule when resistance shows up. He's launched his side business. It's small, but it's real. He's not the same person who was lying in bed at 11 p.m. wondering where his life went. He's someone else now. Someone he's proud to be. Sarah rebuilt her entire relationship with her phone. She checks Instagram maybe twice a week now, and when she does, it feels hollow. She can see the manipulation. She can feel her brain trying to get hooked. So she closes it. She's booked out with freelance clients 3 months in advance because she's producing her best work. She has time. She has focus. She has herself back. Marcus got the senior role. The portfolio project he built during his reset became the centerpiece of his interview. He's earning 40% more. But more than that, he trusts himself now. He knows if he needs to do something hard, he can. That confidence has changed everything. These aren't special people. They're just people who understood how their brain works and decided to stop fighting it and start working with it. You can do the same. You can start today. Right now. Your brain will always choose easy. That's not a flaw. That's evolution. Your job isn't to override that with superhuman discipline. Your job is to make hard feel easy. To design conditions where the right action is the natural action. To reset your dopamine so normal rewards feel rewarding again. To lower the activation energy so starting doesn't feel impossible. To build an identity where discipline isn't something you do, it's who you are. 7 days. That's all it takes to start. 3 days of detox. 2 days of momentum. 2 days of identity. And then a lifetime of becoming. If this framework resonated with you, if you see yourself in Jake or Sarah or Marcus, the full audiobook with even deeper strategies and psychological insights is linked in the pinned comment below. And if you want more content like this, tools and frameworks to help you become the person you know you can be, subscribe. Not because I need you to. Because you need the reminders. You need the tools. You need to keep building. Let me leave you with this. Right now, your future self is watching. The version of you that exists 1 year from now. They're watching this moment. Watching what you choose to do next. You can close this video and go back to the scroll. Back to the distraction. Back to the person you've been. And they'll watch that too. They'll feel the disappointment. The resignation. Or you can start. Day 1. Right now. Delete the app. Set the boundary. Make the commitment. And your future self will watch that instead. And they'll feel something different. Gratitude. Relief. Pride. You get to choose which version of that future self you create. The one who's still stuck, or the one who broke free. Your brain will always choose easy. Your job is to make hard feel easy. You now know how. The 7 days start now.